And this video is brought to you by Wig Splitter Plus. This product contains 2-propanol, which is the same ingredient as mentioned in the White House press briefing to kill the coronavirus.
We're also testing disinfectants, readily available. We've tested bleach, we've tested isopropyl alcohol on the virus, specifically in saliva or in respiratory fluids. And I can tell you that bleach will kill the virus in 5 minutes. Isopropyl alcohol will kill the virus in 30 seconds, and that's with no manipulation, no rubbing, just spraying it on and leaving it go. You rub it and it goes away even faster.
Use it on doorknobs, counters, elevator buttons, railings, seats, shoes, mail, packages, tray tables, TSA trays, gaming machines, suitcases, ticket dispensers, public transit, rental cars, at the airports, at the hotels, at restaurants, at bars, at grocery stores, casinos, taxis, etc., etc. 266 sprays per bottle, 2.7 ounces. Hey, we're trying to do our part to provide a great product, pick you guys some up, and Wig Splitter Plus keep you guys right. What's up, everybody? Big Herc getting down with Fresh Out, and you tune into another edition of Prison Talk. I want to say thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thanks for all your support. I really appreciate all the positive comments you guys leave, and just make sure, man, you share the channel, man, because we kind of get bamboozled, man, with a lot of our videos because we're not shucking and jiving or being your stereotypical prison channel, or I'm not doing the song and dance as far as a black guy's concerned. I get a lot of crazy comments. One of them was like, Herc, do you consider yourself black? Do you favor white culture? How do you feel about certain things going on with the culture? Well, to be honest with you, man, I probably identify more being black than most of the black people out there. I'm dark skinned. I'm a big guy. I'm 6 foot, 250 pounds. So I stand out wherever I go. I realize that I'm always being sized up as far as with individuals and when I'm in public. So I got to be really conscious because a lot of people are intimidated or scared. Until I open my mouth and speak, a lot of people don't really know what to expect from me. It's a blessing that my mom took the time when I was growing up and really pushed me reading. So I have a pretty, good vocabulary, and English was one of my better subjects. So I could talk pretty well, and I did a lot of reading throughout the years. But, I could only be me. And as far as the culture, I can't be one of those people who are pushing just a negative agenda. Me and Big Ant have been pushing a long time to have our show picked up, to take it to the next level. We know we can only do so much on this platform because we're censored and because of just, just how politics work. But, the few times we have been approached and had the opportunity, Hollywood's a dirty game, bro. It's a scandalous world. And, we've had somebody who wanted to buy the show, but they wanted to basically give us a flat fee for it, not allow us on the set, not allow us to have any input as far as the content of the show. And then they want to turn the show into something that it wasn't. And then we would get we had no creative credit, no executive producer credit. And I'm like, man, now I can get a quick paycheck. Maybe we split 50 racks or even 100 racks, even 200 racks. But I'm like, damn, I did 10 years, and you divide that into 100 racks. That's $10,000 a year. Why would I do that? Why would I sell out my life experience, for a quick paycheck? It's not worth it. I tell Ant, man, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. When we do finally get picked up and have the opportunity to shine, we're going to kill it. But I'm not going to let somebody take my butt cheeks, in a sense of financial gain. It's not worth it. And so we passed, man. We kept passing, kept moving. There was another instance where We had some guys who were interested, and these guys were pretty well connected. I produced some pretty big shows, and the guy, we sat down and had a meeting, and the guy said, you know what, the networks, this particular network likes your show, but they say that you're glamorizing prison. This is coming from the high ups. These are the guys who, do the budgeting, the financing for the show, and, tied in with the executive producers. And I said, like, what do you mean? He said, you're interviewing people who appear to be successful or have been successful since they've been out of prison. And that's glorifying prison. You're not showing the people who are on the brink of going back. You're not promoting the recidivism, which is needed in order to justify funding more prisons, and then I started thinking, the guys who push the agenda for a lot of the shows in regards to prison is pushing fear. Fear makes people react. And if people are scared, they're going to vote for whatever initiative they can to get more prisons, for stricter laws, for harsher punishments. And that's how these guys make money. So at the end of the day, a lot of the guys who are on the high ups are invested in private prisons. They are, have stock in these companies, among other things, and it does them, justice to have an agenda that pushes going to prison. So, needless to say, that deal didn't work out. Another opportunity popped up. We're talking with a guy, and we're talking about doing like mentoring and some other stuff, and really putting out a positive product. Kind of like using our platform, but taking it to the next level. And the guy actually, after talking to me, he's like, man, you talk very well. I mean, a guy your nature, I wouldn't have thought that, you had ever did time in prison, or that you were, had been involved in criminal activities. Like, what'd you go to jail for? I said, bank robbery. He said, bank robbery? Man, I thought maybe, credit card fraud or something like that. I mean, so did you have a note? I said, no, I had a gun. You had a gun? Oh my God, you had a gun? What'd you do? I said, it was a hostile takeover, high-speed chase, cops involved, helicopter, He's like, oh my, Joe. But geez, I didn't realize you were that kind of guy. And I'm like looking at the guy, and his body language is changing now, and he's acting kind of funny. And I'm thinking to myself, is this guy for real? I mean, are you really making a big deal about something like this when you, work with other people who are probably involved in stuff that's on a, way more negative level than what I just explained to you. And the fact that I'm here now owning up to what I did, and I'm trying to help people, you're making a big deal about it. But that's the kind of response we get a lot of times, because people think, well, you talk a certain way, you act a certain way, you couldn't have possibly have done those things. Well, I've lived a life, but I don't brag about it. I don't, push a raw agenda. I try to push a different agenda. And, I guess between, me and Big Ant, it's been one of the reasons why we've been having to kind of chug along and, do what we do, man. But, the ultimate goal is to get on a bigger platform and give you guys the rawest content possible, and to share, a more positive narrative. There's just so much more that can be done, I feel, than trying to push kids into doing stuff that's going to lead to prison. I think we need to get rid of the prisons, build more community centers, put access to different resources in the communities so that people will have options. I mean, rather than, give a kid, access to a pistol, why not give them access to, maybe auto shop or welding or electronics or something that's going to benefit him in the long run. And, I just do a lot of reflecting, man, and I think about all the mistakes I made. And, that's why I want to do this show, because I don't want people to make the same mistakes I made. I feel I made enough mistakes, and, our way of giving back is to produce this show and to go in this direction, and to open you guys' eyes to just new opportunities, and one of the things, that saved me, and, like I said, a lot of people in prison used to trip out because they would see me talking to white guys, or Hispanic guys, brothers. Hey, man, what you doing talking to that? You ain't supposed to be talking. We talking that wood about, man. Don't let no. They're gonna be tripping. They see you talking to the wood, man, or don't be talking to them. The Mexican guys like that, man. People start thinking stuff. They talking because everybody's in your business in prison. And I'd be like, dude, that guy's from Huntington Beach. I'm from Huntington Beach. He knows some of the same people, or blah blah blah. Or a guy would see me. That guy. He's a skinhead. I'm like, well, we were chopping it up. He was cool. We talked about some workout tips or some other stuff. And that's what happens, man. See, when you're limited culturally, when you don't have exposure to other nationalities or other races, your mindset is pigeonholed. So you think a certain way because that's what you've been conditioned. The guy, the Mexican guy with a tattoo on his face, or the white guy who has this, or the black guy who has cornrows, oh, he's a gang member, or tattoo over here, he's a skinhead. I mean, dude, people are people. People make mistakes. They change. Some people change, some people don't change. But exposure makes a big difference. See, I grew up around a lot of different cultures. I grew up where I had friends that were Filipino, and we would go to their houses and have lumpia and barbecued pork. And I had friends that were Hawaiian and Tongan, and we would have, the beef ribs and different, Hawaiian and Tongan dishes. I had a homeboy that was Samoan. I had partners that were, blacks that were from down south. We had gumbo, and I had my white friends. We stayed the night at his house, and his mom get up and make some pancakes and French toast. We didn't have no French toast at our house. My mom made pancakes, but French toast, I'm like, damn, I'm at my white partner's house. We're gonna have French toast. Skateboard, go BMX. But I grew up around a lot of people, so I never looked at people as in a negative fashion. Everybody was their own person. And that's what we want to promote over here is everybody's their own person. Don't judge a book by its cover. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and you can't group everybody together. And the people in prison saw that, and they opened their eyes. You know how powerful it could be in there? And they don't want that. I used to have a group in prison. They call us the law team of Johnny Cochran, because I was Johnny Cochran, and I had all these guys, and we'd all go to law library and study. It was my Belizean homeboy, Break Bread, my white partner, Josh. I had another white partner named Chris. I had a Korean partner named Brother Wang. I had my black partner, Cafe, Big Rube, a couple other white guys. But we had we was like the United Nations, man. We would all be in there studying, and then, on the weekends we do spreads together. And I'm telling you, man, people would be upset. The counselors didn't understand it. They're like, how did, Big Herc, how he got all these guys in there together? What are they up to? They was always investigating me, thinking I was up to some plot. I had something going on. But I didn't have anything going on but learning. And see, that's where people don't realize you can learn from everybody. White, Asian, Hispanic, Native American, everybody. I mean, I messed with everybody. I had, my celly was Mexican. He should have seen the dudes. Oh, man, you got a Mexican celly, man. What you doing? Man, what am I doing? That's my partner. We cool. So you guys, man, you got to expand your minds, man. And that's what our channel is about, expanding your minds. And I did it in prison. I did it before prison. And I continue to expand my mind and network with people and open up doors. But that's why I carry myself the way I do, and that's why I, interview people from all walks of life on my channel, and I keep it raw and real. But ain't no selling out over here, man. But I know the plan. See, it's divide and conquer. If they can get you over here ready to stick this guy over here because he's a different race, or you want to go and have a problem with this guy because he looks like he's a supremacist, and you come to find out, man, he knows there's some bullshit. He's like, man, shit. I only did this because I was pressured, and dude, you're in the hot rods, I'm in the hot rods. We need to get out and do some racing together, have fun. See, that's what you don't get. One of my closest partners was in the HAs up in there, and we was cool. We still talk to each other from time to time, So I messed with everybody, and a lot of people didn't like that. But like I said, we keep it raw and real over here on Fresh Out. This is Big Herc with Prison Talk.